Welcome to Aligned AF, real talk for evolving souls with Yahweh Kent. Join Yahweh for honest conversations on spiritual growth, the messiness of life, and how to move through it all at a higher frequency. So grab a cup of tea and let's sail in. This is Aligned AF, and here's Yahweh.
There are moments that life brings back around, not to test us, but to show us how far we've come. Sometimes healing doesn't announce itself with bright lights and choirs of angels. Sometimes it arrives quietly, disguised as a conversation you never imagined you'd have. Today is one of those moments for me. There are those that spend their lives battling, some in foreign lands with weapons and casualties, others within, and all that comes with it. And while it's never an easy task, it's a fight that can be navigated with the right tools and the right people in your life. Today's episode is one of those examples. Join us for The Warrior's Awakening, Service, Sobriety, and Purpose with Paul Rossi. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Aligned AF, Real Talk for the Evolving Soul. I am Yahweh, your host, and I am very, very, very touched and very excited to have this guest today. This guest and I have a unique relationship, which we will touch on during our conversation, and I'm going to dig right in. Paul Rossi is a man who's worn many roles: Navy veteran, diplomatic security professional, actor, model, and Mission 22 ambassador committed to ending veteran suicide. His path hasn't been linear. It's been marked by loss, by struggle, by reinvention. And yet, through it all, Paul has remained in service, and not just to others, but to his own evolution. He's also someone who shared the last 20 years of life with my former wife and helped raise my son, Zach. That's a sentence that I probably wouldn't have thought of speaking about 20 years ago, but time and healing have a way of softening the edges of old stories. What remains now is a deep respect for the man who's loved and guided my son, for the service he's given to others, and for the courage it takes to keep showing up when life has written chapters he never saw coming. Today, we're diving deep into the spaces between service and self, pain and purpose, and what it really means to come home, both to your country and to your soul. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that opening statement. Wow. I told myself I wouldn't cry. Honestly, man, you're a good guy, and I've always thought so. We've always had a good relationship, which is incredible, and is
we have
a rarity in today's day and age with our situation. But I guess that's how things work.
Yeah, and for those out there listening, our situation is pretty much what I said. I was married to Sarah over 20 years ago. We had a son named Zach together, and things just did not last. I accept my responsibility in it, and she has her share. And, we separated, went our separate ways with the commitment that we would not ever put Zach in the middle. And we tried to, maintain, at first it was just civility. And I think eventually it did become a friendship. And then Paul showed up in her life. And honestly, I think he's been the best thing in the world for her. And I know that my son, Zach, has nothing but praise for this man as a stepfather. And you also have, your son with Sarah, Nico.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah, your mini me. He sure is, isn't he?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I remember I met Zach when he was 7 years old. Guy, cutest kid, so cute.
Yeah.
And this was back when I was just, I don't know. I was kind of in limbo of what my life was going to do. And then, I kind of got on the right path. Honestly, a lot thanks to Sarah. I couldn't see changing for myself at the time because I really didn't have a lot of love for myself.
Yeah.
And she showed me that that I could.
Yeah.
And I had a reason to change, and that was the reason.
Yeah. Chaz had her good points, that's for sure.
She does. She does. Yeah. I mean, she at the time she was like a super tall, hot blonde. You know, she walked in. I was like, whoa! Everybody looked at her. I didn't even want to go out that night. You know, I wanted to be home. I was miserable. I was like all in Johnny Cash, black. Didn't want to have anyone talk to me, and I think I was watching sports or something on the TV in the bar, and everybody kind of looked at her, and somehow, I don't know, kismet, fate, she came walking up to me. The rest is history.
Yeah. I hear you. It's not entirely dissimilar to my story with her. So I spent a lot of time wondering what the fuck this woman was doing with me.
Right? Well, I mean, we're all broken, and
yeah.
She's got her pieces too, which thankfully, they fit. You know.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think you guys are good together, and I couldn't be happier that she has found someone that she can spend the rest of her life with.
21 years, man.
That's crazy.
This relationship is like 3.
Yeah, I've been married 21 years, but it took me 3 times.
Apparently, I'm a one and done in this category, so that's good. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's better that way. It really is.
This is probably the only thing in my life that I've never had to do at least twice.
Yeah. Well, good. And I pray to God you never have to do it again. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'd love to just jump right in here. You've worn a lot of hats, Paul. Yeah. From being a Navy vet to doing the extended service. With the work that you did, traveling to Afghanistan and and places like that, and then slipping into finding your way into acting and modeling, and just it's quite a journey. So I'd like to just jump right into it.
Right on.
Starting out with kind of looking at how you find peace in the spaces where life kind of intertwines. So when you look back on the path that brought you here, from Navy life to family life to advocacy to acting, what thread started to stand out the most for you? How does that connection happen?
I got to be honest, a lot of it was the comeback story. A lot of it was just a rebuild of myself, because where I was going after I got out of the military was unfortunately all downhill. I drank a lot. I drank a lot in the military, and I drank a lot out. And at least I had structure in the military, whereas when I got out, I really didn't. I became a private investigator, and I was kind of on my own dime and my own time frame, as long as I can solve a case. And it worked for a while. And then I got into undercover work, and I had a couple of years where I was undercover for quite a while, months at a time. And I got to be honest, I lost myself quite a few times. I was good at my job, but unfortunately, it took a toll on me. And I really went on some bingers. And then I had loss. My father died in a car accident. I lost my brother to a triple homicide. It was rough, and not a good excuse. But I used alcohol as a crutch, and as many of us do, many of us in everyday life, not just veterans.
Yep.
We all have our addictions, whether we want to face it or not. And mine was definitely alcohol. But the whole thing with me is, I had to hit rock bottom, and I did. Yeah. I got into a drunken bar fight, and I hurt some people pretty bad, and I did some time. I was charged with 3, at the time, felony assaults. They got dropped down eventually, but I did spend some time in a level 3 prison for that, and that was my rock bottom. I had had a decent townhouse, expensive, had a great car. I used for surveillance. I was the head of the Connecticut office of a private investigation firm out of Philadelphia, and I lost all of it. I lost all of it. I was actually living out of my SUV for a few weeks. But that was the start of it. That was I look back on myself and I said, I shouldn't be in this situation, and I have nobody to blame. And I never did blame anybody. It was myself. I did it all to myself. And the time I look back on it, it had to happen. It had to happen this way because I'm a stubborn prick, and I don't think I would have learned any other way. You couldn't tell me anything back then. I was stubborn. I was ignorant. I don't know. I didn't have much love for myself. Let's just say that much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was able to rebound and slowly get my life back together. It was a tenuous process. It really was. I mean, I went from being the lead investigator to having to work under the table jobs as a roofer, construction. Just not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's a struggle for somebody who's never really thought that's what I was going to do with my life. But
Yeah.
it was a long time coming, and I don't see another way for me to have dug myself out of it other than through that. I didn't have any handouts. I just somehow decided to get back on my feet. And then eventually when I met Sarah, there was a reason. There was a reason just to not survive anymore, but to do better, to be a better person. And
Yeah.
I needed to prove it to her that I could be.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Now, you mentioned that you mentioned meeting her in a bar and everything. Were you still drinking at the time?
I was, yeah. I was
Okay.
with my old roommate, Gordon, who unfortunately passed away in a VA home. He basically drank himself to death. Yeah, he eventually got himself into a situation he couldn't get himself out of.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, that should have been a reason for me to quit right there, but.
Sure. And then Sarah came along.
Yeah. My savior.
Yeah.
She didn't know it. She didn't know it at the time, but she was.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you, because I mean, your story sadly is not uncommon.
No.
It's a lot of people share this story. I've been to AA meetings and heard, similar things, God forbid, worse things.
Yeah.
How does one find their way to finding that self-worth where you say, I have value and I actually deserve to be with this woman, or I deserve to have a family, or I deserve to be a father?
A lot of it is self-reflection. And then realizing I've seen some bad things in life, some really bad things. And reflecting upon those and kind of putting myself up against it, I measure myself sometimes as, well, at least it's not that bad. It could be worse. I've been here and now I'm here, and the only step is to move up. So you see yourself, and it's just a self-reflection that, all right, I'm here now. It wasn't that difficult. I can do more, and I can do better. And I'm still not where I want to be. And even today, I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm a lot better off than I was.
Yeah.
But it's always an improvement. It's always a process.
Right. Now, did you have any kind of a support system outside of yourself and your own?
Yeah. I mean, just like you said, I went through AA and everything like that. But I had a lot of veteran friends who actually dealt with the same process, and a lot of them, unfortunately, they lost the battle. But I had my family. I had a lot of friends, and I still do. And they were of great support to me. I didn't see it at the time, but looking back on it, who knows? Who knows where I could have slipped and, went back down that road, and I was able to maintain.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't realize how important just a simple conversation is with somebody outside of
Absolutely.
ourselves, and until years later where we go, I think that might have saved my ass, just that one moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you touch on that. I don't want to bring the subject up, but Mission 22 is, that is the reason why I got involved, was because of all of my friends who were committing suicide. And it doesn't just help them. When I have a conversation with somebody and I walk them down from a ledge, it is an incredible help to myself, because it gives me a self-worth that I wasn't sure I had,
Yeah.
but to help other people, to help other veterans, from this life-changing event, is incredible. It's an incredible amount of pride you feel, for knowing you did the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely want to dig into Mission 22 a little bit. Let's look at, on a personal level. Okay. You've been an incredible stepfather to my son, Zach. Zach is a great kid.
He is a great kid.
Now it's my turn to choke up. One thing, when Sarah and I divorced, the one thing that mattered to me was maintaining some sort of balance for this kid, so that he knew he had family no matter what, that he knew no matter which household he was in, he had support.
Yeah.
And I did my best on my side. And I know that Sarah and you did your best on your side. And at no point did I ever feel that he wasn't safe with you, or that it wasn't the best environment for him. And, the sharing of his custody over the years until he was 16, and you guys ended up moving from Massachusetts to South Carolina.
Yeah.
And the honor we gave Zach of saying, it's your choice. Instead of saying, no, this is what's happening, fuck what one parent thinks.
Right.
It was literally, Zach, you get to decide. And he decided, I want to try it out and see what happens.
Yeah.
Knowing that he could come back if he wanted to, and just see how it goes. Plus, his connection with his mom has always been super special.
Yes.
And I would never, ever, ever try to take that away. And now he's, grown and engaged and working and
moved again.
And moved again. And now he's in Colorado. And, I couldn't be prouder of the kid. And I got to stop calling him a kid because he's 28 now. But
I do the same thing.
But I look at him and he's still a kid. He's still young. But he's responsible. He pays his fucking bills. He keeps his job.
He's a hard worker.
He maintains a household. He is. And the thing above it all is he's a fucking good human being.
Right.
I've never, ever, ever heard him say anything bad about anybody.
Yep.
I mean, he'll joke and he'll fuck around and stuff like that. And I know he's got opinions, but he is sincerely one of the most kind human beings. He will do absolutely anything for you and not bitch about it, and he just does it.
Yep.
And when he worked at Unity Village, where I worked,
yep,
everybody used to come up to me and say what an incredible kid he was, and how kind he was and how helpful he was. And fuck, Paul, part of that's because of you.
Oh,
okay. Part of that's because you were there to be a role model of what a man should do.
But you brought him up. He was 7 when I met him, and he had already been instilled with those good feelings and those good beliefs. And you can't take that away from a kid. He's just a great human being. Nico is the same way. These two are just great kids.
Yeah.
But Zach is just an incredible human being. He really is.
I appreciate we can stroke each other's egos all day on that one. We'll both take responsibility for that. But I just want the world to know how I sincerely value your role in his life. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
For that.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, man.
So
I think it
how do
helps
you?
with the kids though, being a protector. I mean, it's
It does.
instilled in me just like my father was. You know, it that it's almost second nature. And when it looks like it's being a good person, that's fine. Yeah, I'll take it. But it's more of just being a protector, you know. And
Yep.
as a
Yep.
father, that's what you do. That's what you do
Yep.
to your kids, you know.
Yep. And
So
and that actually leads into my next question, because I was going to ask you, how do you navigate being both a protector and a nurturer when you've been in some of the worst situations in the world that any human being could possibly be in as a protector, but then you're home and you have to be a nurturer as well. How does that connect?
I think even more so. You're instilled with that belief, and you practice it on a daily basis to be a protector. Coming home, nurturing is just another form of protection. You know, you're whether it's positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, you're still being that protector. You're still providing that. I mean, I hate to say a service, but it's a
Yeah.
service in my job, but it's hard not to take that personal. You know,
Yeah.
when you see things that are just life changing, just you know, other worlds, third world countries that some people just can't fathom until they've actually seen it for their eyes. You come home and you realize how good you have it. You really do, and you want to do the best you can for your family,
Yep.
because you've seen what other areas of the world do.
Yeah. Yep.
So
What
it's honestly it's just second nature.
So with that in mind, you have to find a place of grace in your heart for yourself. How do you come out of situations like you've been in and give yourself the grace to know, yes, I do have the ability to be kind and nurturing for my own children at home.
Uh, Most veterans would say it just gives you a dark sense of humor, which it absolutely 100% does. So you laugh it off. Um, if you don't make light of it, it'll tear you up. So that's where I've formed a great sense of humor, whether it be whether it be morbid or dark. You have to separate yourself from those two worlds. When I'm on deployment, I'm a different person. When I come back, I'm dad. You know.
Yep.
I'm Paul the actor,
Right.
Paul the husband.
Right.
When I'm away, I'm Paul the supervisor, Paul the shift leader, Paul the contractor, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still the same person, but there's a different side of me that switch clicks.
Yeah.
And I'm, I guess, more intense about situations
Yeah.
than when I'm home.
Well, I think
Although
you kind of have to be, depending on the situation.
you do, and a lot of
Yeah.
times those two lives flow into each other, and sometimes it's not a good thing. I'm still a work in progress, you know, and I think we all are.
Yeah, I think you're right. I can't imagine. I mean, everybody out there deals with who they are at work, who they are at home, who they are amongst their friends, but not necessarily to the degree that you do, or that somebody who lives a similar life would, because you're dealing with extremes.
True.
And so I think, you know, I don't know the situation. I don't need to know the situation, but God damn it, you deserve some fucking grace because of what you do. And since you brought up the contracting, um, can you tell us a little bit? I know you can't get into a lot of detail, but can you give us a rough idea of what it is you do as far as the contracting is
Yeah.
concerned?
Yeah. I could go back to other contracts that I've had. I've had a few contracts, but other contracts that I've had, I was with Department of Defense, basically doing security for a base, a forward operating base in southern Afghanistan. It was kind of one of the first high paying jobs that I've had. You know, pretty good without having a doctorate degree or anything, but it paid the bills. It just, it sucked being away. I was away quite a bit, mostly the entire year for that one. But it was basically, that one was dealing with the Taliban, back in the day. We had some attacks. We lost a few people. I actually lost a couple more, with suicide, unfortunately, from some of the things that they've seen and some of the things that they dealt with when they got home. But without saying too much, we were basically just defending an area.
Yep.
Whereas with diplomatic security, I worked for Department of State. We were at the consulate in Erbil, Kurdistan. That was actually a really decent contract. We were supporting the Kurds, training them how to do protective services, so that in time we can leave and basically leave them on their own to defend themselves against, those foreign entities. But it was like a whole neighborhood that the government had a contract with and became a compound, and we put the consulate there, and it was actually pretty cool. There was a lot of good people. We had a lot of great relationships with the Kurdish people, and I loved every minute that I was there. But you find other contracts that pay and pay more, and you want to do what's best for your family. So I do what's considered maritime security now, with other 3-letter department agencies, and it's a pretty chill contract, I would say, compared to the ones that I've had.
Right.
We are in a much different area. There's no desert, no sand. There's other things like friggin' water.
Yeah. I
love water. Water is your mother, your lover, your friend, but even too much water could kill you.
That was a Navy thing to say, wasn't it?
And I'll just leave it at that. But I've been doing that for quite a few years. Yeah. Over a decade.
And now with that one, you're gone 2-3 months at a time, and then
Correct.
You're home for a while.
Yeah. Which still sucks. It never gets easier. As a matter of fact, Sarah and I talk about how much tougher it gets. And part of that we're glad for, because we still miss each other. And it seems to be getting worse, which I don't know what that's a sign of, but there's a duality there, that you hate it, but then again, you're glad for it.
Yep. Yeah, I think that while it's not your ideal situation, it also reinforces how strong your relationship is.
Correct. Yeah. It does.
Yeah. You're a lucky man to have that. You are.
Thank you.
You are. So now with all that you've shared with us, how do you transition from that lifestyle into the uncertainty of being a civilian while you're home? You know what I mean?
Awkwardly.
Yeah. Now, is there like it's really awkward when you first get home, and then it starts to smooth out, but then as you get closer to deployment, you've got to kind of reshift your state of mind?
You nailed it.
To get back? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And it used to be like a week before deployment, I would be like, there's a noticeable difference. And now it's even longer, and you would think I would acclimate a little bit better to it, but I don't. It gets, knowing the timeline of the events and what I'm dealing with, it often gets worse. But that's something that I just had to deal with, and you've got to use the tools you have. It's not easy. Sometimes life makes it easier when things are going good.
Sure.
But sometimes when everything's breaking down, you kind of join it.
Yeah.
But for me, there's no real option. You just do it. You do it. And you suck it up and you push through it because others depend on you. So I almost see no point in complaining anymore. Eventually, I'll get out of it. Eventually I'll have my big break in Hollywood, and
yeah,
at least that's what I think. So
I believe, hey,
we'll
you can manifest that shit, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, quite honestly, from following you on Facebook and just kind of being connected to you, I mean, I see you working. There's a lot of actors out there that can't say that. You're
That's
working.
true. I am hustling.
So it's out there. So you mentioned using your tools. What kind of tools do you have? Because I mean, you can't just let it go. You can't just, I mean, fuck that song and anybody who sings it and anybody who says it, because you can't just let shit go. So there's got to be some tools that you use, whether it's time alone. I know that you run a lot.
Absolutely.
That's a form of meditation in my book.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
That is one of my biggest go-tos, working out and running. It releases a lot of stress. It really, pumps you with endorphins. It helps you see. Honestly, when I get that tunnel vision, when I'm frustrated and I'm just angry and I want to lose my shit, I will go running, and I will feel better afterwards 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I'm not always able to do that. Say when I'm on the ship.
Right.
I hate treadmills. I love the outdoors. I hate running on the treadmill, but I can go. We have a great gym, and I can go and I can just, push my anger out, with weights. So there's always a way out.
There's not a lot of free running on board ship.
What's that?
Not a lot of places you can free run on board a ship.
No, there are.
Not without getting wet.
None. Especially in the weather we're at.
They say, I can see them now. Hey, everybody, Paul's going for a run. Put the nets out.
Honestly, they probably wouldn't even let me out. We get locked on that thing so many times. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of them. A lot of them, a lot of times, having the tools to have some patience, and I've been learning this over many, many decades. I'm a very impatient person, but I realize I have to be. In the old military adage, hurry up and wait. I should be used to it by now. That's how life pretty much goes. One moment you're on a roller coaster ride, the next moment you're, walking backwards on an escalator. But that's just the way it goes. So preparing yourself for those moments is another tool.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you've got those tools, and I'm glad you're able to use them. So you've been really, really open about your past.
Yep.
Not only on social media, but even here today.
Yep.
The different challenges, your addiction to alcohol, moments of darkness that you've had to deal with.
Absolutely.
What do you think? I mean, other than spending time in prison, and you were saying you were still drinking when you came out, was it? What was the actual turning point? What clicked in you that said, this shit ends now?
Honestly, the fear of losing Sarah.
Really?
Yeah, we got into, it was just a stupid argument, but we were both drinking. And unfortunately, where I was living in West Springfield, I can walk past my parking lot to a bar. And I was friends with the bartender there, and I would always go there, and I would black out. I was a blackout drunk too, so I don't even remember. I'd have this bartender tell me the next day, what happened. He was on my softball team too, so I'd have to see him, as a friend outside of the bar, and he would kind of be pretty straight and forward with me and honest and say, hey man, you just lost your shit last night. I wouldn't even remember it, and then I would feel this overwhelming amount of guilt, and I would realize, shit, if I'm doing this to Sarah, there's no way we're going to be able to maintain this relationship. So that was it. I quit just like that. It was the best thing to do. And I knew it, all the signs were there. Just do it and see what happens.
Yep.
So I stopped for a little while and realized, holy shit, things are getting better. And then a little while became a year. And then, big celebration after a year. I didn't need it anymore. I had what I wanted. So I'm done. And after 21 years, I don't miss it. Not at all.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, that's, I don't have the same story that you do, but I had some major dependence on it. And so for me, it's been 5. And
congrats.
I don't miss it either, man.
Nope.
I don't miss it at all.
Good for you, man.
Matter of fact, I get a whiff of it and I'm just like, oh,
yeah.
Dude, what was I thinking? I remember how much I used to love bourbon.
Yep.
And just sit there with a glass neat and just work it. And now I see somebody like drinking it on a show or in a movie and I can remember the taste. I remember the taste and I'm like, I don't miss that anymore. Yeah. It's a good feeling to get past that. Yeah. It is. And I know that it's not that easy for a lot of people. And God bless them. I hope they get the help, but, nothing good comes from alcohol.
It does not.
I cannot. I can remember fun times in college. I can't remember some of them, but I can remember a lot of them.
Yeah.
But it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Those good times don't outweigh the bad times.
No. And the shit that you do to your body and you don't even realize it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I ended up paying for some of that.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
I did.
So.
Yep. So you talk about how sobriety was kind of the key to keeping your relationship, but how did that change your relationship with yourself?
I could look at myself. I can look at myself clearly and not have to mask it, because when I looked at myself, I wouldn't take it all in because I didn't want to. I wasn't impressed with myself at all, by far. And this recalls a memory too, when I was still in the Navy, and I was drinking pretty heavily. I had a roommate, a good friend of mine, Tony, one of my best friends, to this day. We were living together in Maryland, and, he came home one night and I was drinking my normal. I'd usually polish off a bottle of Johnny Walker before I even went out. And this night I decided to stay in, and I punched every mirror in our apartment. I was just sick of looking at myself, and Tony was just like, man, something's got to happen, bro. You got to do something. That's insane. But yeah, that reminded me, I just could not look at myself. I was disgusted with myself, yet I continued to drink. And it wasn't until I quit drinking that I realized I could actually look at myself. Not exactly excited about what I saw, but I was able to look at it myself, a clean look. And I don't just mean physically. I took it in. I mentally took it in and realized, Christ, I look a lot older, alcohol ages you.
Yeah.
And there's a change, just like war does. War ages you, alcohol ages you, and once you stop both, I'm sure life would be great. But at least I stopped alcohol.
Yep.
So I had that control back,
Yeah. So, how'd you find the forgiveness for yourself?
Honestly, I don't think I still have. I don't think I've actually. I walk around with a good amount of guilt still.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually forgiven myself yet. There's things that I have, small things, but the big things are still kind of lingering. And then that's just something I need to work on.
Sure.
Other people have that ability. That's one of the tools that I still need to work on.
Well, don't give up, man, because from this side of the camera, you deserve it. So
Thank you.
Yeah. So keep working on that. With the experience you have with this, with the experience that you have with war, with death and destruction, basically, but then also with addiction. When you talk to other veterans that are struggling, or anybody who is struggling with their mental health, what do you think? Is there one truth maybe that you could share with them that that kind of overlaps all of that?
Absolutely. And it's the simple words, I've been there. I've been there. When they tell me a story and I can easily relate to them and just regurgitate it, and give them what I use to get out of that situation, and see the light in their eyes, see oh shit, this guy gets it, that is huge. That is huge. Not only for them, but for me too. For me to get through to somebody, just to say, hey man, I've been there and this is the way it's going to go. To relate, a lot of times that's all they need. They want somebody to listen, just to lend an ear. And then when it's received and it's acknowledged and it's accepted, that's a world of difference for some people. It was for me.
Yeah. So let me ask you, how did you get involved with Mission 22?
Oh, honestly, I saw it online and I was just like, when you see something and it just fits, it just, like peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Peanut butter's great. I've never had bad peanut butter. Mission 22 was like, I needed to be part of it. It was just immediate. I needed to be part of it. And then, shortly after I was introduced to it, we had the show Hunted came out, and I had a charity event, a baseball game between the hunters and the hunted. And one of the guys showed up. He was a former special forces, my buddy Muhammad Balil. He showed up out of nowhere. I didn't think he was going to make it. He wasn't supposed to be there, and he didn't play, but he came and met me in the crowd, and I was elated to see him. He was one of the guys from the show, but not only that, he had he had informed me that my involvement, with Mission 22 actually saved his life, and that was one of the greatest compliments that I've ever had in my life. I didn't know it. I didn't know I had that, that kind of effect on him, but he was going through a dark time, and he came and hugged me and told me that, and I melted,
Yeah.
I thought, holy shit, just being who I was, coming out of this tunnel and able to help someone else like that, who I admired incredibly. I thought, this guy has all of his shit together. He's an author. The guy's brilliant. He's written, I think 5 books. But just to hear him say that to me, God, you don't understand how the power that has, and the reality of, I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
I am where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And very few people can actually say that in life.
Yeah. Yep. So what, for the listeners, what exactly is Mission 22?
Mission 22 is a nonprofit organization that helps veterans and veterans' families through things such as PTSD, traumatic brain injury, even military sexual abuse now. They have a lot of programs for veterans. There's like a recovery and resiliency program. It's like a comprehensive, holistic program that Mission 22 uses. Nutrition, fitness, mental health. There's a 28-day program that we have too. They're just all these things that veterans have at their disposal that are free. And the more we can spread the awareness, because that's honestly what Mission 22 wants to do, is just have the awareness. And the 22, I'm sure you know, but for the fans, the Mission 22, the 22 stands for every day on average, 22 veterans take their own lives. And that rings pretty deep with me.
Yeah.
Because I've got several friends who have.
Yeah.
So I've been ambassador since 2017.
Yeah. Yep. And so what's your role as an ambassador?
We basically put on events, go to events, talk to people, let them know. You're basically spreading the awareness. But it seems like every event I find someone who is searching and is in need for just someone to lend an ear. And that's my big takeaway. Every time I go, I find someone that needs to be talked to or needs to be heard. And if that's all it takes, one person, I will go to every event I possibly can.
Yeah. And is this found at mission22.com?
Mission22.com or mission22.org.
Okay. All right. Good.
You can look it up, grab the website. There's contacts, and it shows everything that we do, and how you can support it and become a member.
Yeah. So with your involvement with the veterans, and I'm sure you've had many, many, many conversations with them, how do you balance the emotional weight of their stories and your advocacy work with your own self-care?
Yeah, I've never really thought of it as having to balance it. I think it's just become part of me. So it's, it's who I am, you know? I mean,
it's not what you do. It's not what you do. It's who you are.
Exactly. And not having to think about it, not having to balance it like that, per se. It's just become part of me, you know. It's just something that I want to be part of, and I want to help people do, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's amazing that you've got the bandwidth to do something like this. You know, having been through what you've been through, I can't imagine a better spokesperson for something like this than somebody who's been through it all. But the part of me, the civilian who is this entity, can't even begin to understand how you can even be a part of that conversation without it just destroying you.
I think the simple fact is that, like I said, when I talk to someone or when I listen to someone and get that, you know, that cohesion, that they obviously know I've been there. I get it.
Yeah.
When I help somebody like that, it helps me tenfold. It honestly does. To know that I've done something good with the bad shit that happened to me, and help someone else. Yeah. What more can you ask for? You know?
Yeah, because they can see that it's possible at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would do no good to talk to somebody like me because I haven't been there.
I mean, we've all
maybe it'd do a little good, but not the same impact that it would have when you know that.
We've all had trauma. You know, we've all been through trauma, and that's all it is.
Yeah,
breaking it down. It's just there's different idiosyncrasies when it comes to the veterans where it does to the civilians. You know, but we've still trauma's trauma, man, and we're all humans.
It's a really good point. That's a really good point. So a lot of heavy conversation. How this guy who's been in the Navy, who's been in prison, who's been in war zones, who has been through sobriety, how the fuck do you become an actor? I mean, this is like a Danny Trejo story.
You're asking the right questions. Let's just say, and I say this all the time when people ask me how I got into acting, because I never wanted to get in front of the camera. I've never, you know, my personality is somewhat outgoing. You know, I've got hopefully a decent sense of humor, but I never really wanted to be in front of the camera. I always got like a little anxiety when it came to that until you come close to death, and then being in front of the camera and shit, that ain't nothing.
No.
But working undercover as an investigator, working undercover for a few years, made that transition to acting really easy. And I didn't realize it until the first day of Hunted when we started filming. And they would ask me questions and I would respond my normal self, my smart ass sarcasm, and they liked it. And I was like, really? So I kind of realized that being yourself in front of the camera is cool, but being able to pretend you're someone else is fun. Yeah. And now I don't have to do it for a living. I don't have to do it to save my ass. I'm doing it for fun, and that's how I view acting. It really is fun to me. It's like going back and regressing as a child and playing.
Yeah.
That's how I view it. And that's how I'm going to continue to view it because I love it.
So how did you get into Hunted in the first place? Through the PI thing?
Through my background, basically. So they were looking for people, and I don't know, somebody sent me the link, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, CBS, man, this is big time. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this, but they were looking for a certain person, a certain person who has a background to track individuals and, yada, yada, search and rescue background, blah, blah, blah. So I put in for it, not thinking that much of it. Put in for it. You had like this interview, you videotape yourself and talk and blah, blah, blah. I made the first cut and I was like, oh, cool. Still didn't get my hopes up. After a series of interviews and consultations with the CBS crew, apparently I beat out like over 2,000 people for a position as a hunter. And I was like, holy shit, this is pretty damn cool. This was like, boom, one of these big things in life that a next step, next level, man.
Right? Hey, baby, I'm going to be on TV.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And then we aired right after the Super Bowl in 2017. And we got phenomenal ratings. Phenomenal. And I thought, holy shit, this is a lock. We're going to be here for years and years to come. Well, after one season, they canceled, but that was my 15 minutes, as Andy Warhol would say. But it was fun, and I got hooked. I got hooked the first day, having that camera on and being with these like-minded people who I became really good friends with.
Sure.
So much fun. And to pay us? Are you kidding me?
Right. You pay to play, man.
Yeah. Let me do that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's cool. So now you've done the Hunted series. You've done a bunch of roles in some movies. I don't want to say low budget because that gives a kind of a negative connotation.
Independent films.
Independent films. There you go. That's the word I was looking for.
Yep.
You've played serial killers and mobsters and Russian tough guys.
Absolutely.
And I watch you on social media. You're posting another interview, booked it. And and I think it's great. It's fun to follow you. It really is. And then I get the joy of like watching some of the clips that you post and things like that. And, there's that part of me that goes, it's fucking Paul. I can't wrap my head around this.
How do you think I feel?
That's awesome. I think it's great.
Fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, do you feel that this is probably an obvious answer, but how do you feel your past has helped you in some of the roles that you've played?
Oh, immensely. The fact that I have been in so many highs and lows of my life and so relatable to every person, the addict, the proud guy, the police officer, you name it. Everything is just easily relatable now because of what I went through. It still takes a lot of work. to get in a role and really want to do well at it. But it's a lot easier for me knowing that I've lived it, so I can use those experiences for this character.
Right.
It doesn't have to be forced,
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier to do it that way, and then I can have more fun with the role.
Yeah. So the acting gig is very, very different than the contractor gig, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Well, not really, because I act like I like it when I'm out sometimes.
Okay, there you go.
I don't.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, is your self-care routine, is your routine to keep yourself sane that much different when you're filming a role versus when you're on ship?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because when I'm on the ship or when I'm, away, I have to take it seriously. It's structured. I have a daily structure of what I do. And I have to keep to that schedule, because that's actually what keeps me grounded and keeps me sane from losing my shit on a daily basis out there. But when I'm acting, you kind of have to be pretty fluid. There's a lot of hurry up and wait. There's a lot of waiting around, going over your lines, that kind of thing, before they get everything, the lighting, the sound, everything correct. And then getting in there and having to, immediately perform. So there's a little tangible effort that you have to put forward there, but it's completely different than the structured life that I live on a contract.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Paul, this has been great. I would love to give you the opportunity to share with the listeners a little bit about how to reach out to you if necessary. How do they get involved in Mission 22, and also where they can see your acting chops?
Oh, yes.
So share away.
Well, you can always follow me on social media. Paul Rossi, actor, or Paul Anthony Rossi, actor. I don't even remember sometimes. Facebook, Threads, IMDb. If you follow me, Paul A. Rossi on imdb.com, you'll see all my films that I've been in, and the ones that are up and coming. As far as Mission 22 is concerned, mission22.org or www.mission22.com, you'll be able to basically get on that page and see everything that the nonprofit organization has to do with our veterans and veteran families. I would love for you guys to check that out.
Yeah, and donate.
And donate, yes.
And donate.
Every penny helps,
Yep.
So that we can make it free for these guys and girls.
Yeah. So what could we see you in right now, and what's coming?
I just wrapped a horror film where I actually had the lead. The name isn't 100% yet, so they're still jumping around with the name, but let's just say it's a holiday type film.
Holiday horror.
And I play the lead character, who is
Santa Claus, motherfucker.
Maybe he's just misunderstood. I don't know. As we all are.
Yeah.
I've got I'm really proud of this. I've got a Lifetime movie coming out. It's called let me not screw it up. Our Dead Husband. I believe that's, yeah.
Do you play the dead husband?
But yeah, I play the live-in bodyguard of one of the main characters.
Okay.
And hopefully in the sequel, if there is a sequel, we'll be in it again. But I'm actually really proud of it because the cast and crew were incredible. I had such a great time, made so many good friends, and I really think it's going to come out great. Which is odd for me to say about a Lifetime movie, because I never watched Lifetime movies. But even my dumb macho ass we'll really get into this. It was pretty cool. But I got a lot coming up. I got a feature film right here in Greenville coming up next month. And I'm really excited about that too. That's going to be a good role. I'll be playing as a sheriff. I can't say much about this one. This one's going to be on a closed set too, so I can't get any background pictures or filming from it. But we'll see when it comes out.
Good.
Should be fun.
That's great. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
And thank you very much for having me, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
It's been a blast, man.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to you in real life in a long time. So,
no.
Yeah. So this has been good. So Paul, thanks. What I take away from this conversation is that strength isn't measured by how long we can fight. It's revealed in how deeply we can heal. Now, Paul's journey reminds me that every mission, no matter how far it takes us from home, eventually circles back to one question. Who am I and who I want to be? Who do I want to be? And maybe that's what real alignment looks like. Not perfection, not constant peace, but the courage to keep choosing life, keep choosing love and service in all its forms. So to every veteran out there listening, to every family carrying the weight of invisible battles, please know that you're not alone. Healing is possible. Connection is possible. And there is help. If today's conversation moved you, I invite you to visit mission22.com or mission22.org. Support their work, share their message, or simply take a moment to reach out to someone who might need to hear that they still matter. Because that one act of caring, that one message, could be the thing that brings someone home. So remember, whatever you're navigating, as long as you're showing up, you're getting closer to Aligned AF every single day. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. If this episode spoke to you at all, share it with a friend or someone who needs it. You can also leave a review or connect with me online. You can find Aligned AF on YouTube, Facebook, your favorite podcast channel, or at alignedaf.org. And if you want to reach out directly, you can email me at alignedafpodcast@gmail.com. So until next time, stay aligned AF.